Hey, g'day mates, TheFatSquire is back at it again. I have completed my self-imposed quest. I have all the blocks of emeralds needed to craft a single beacon pyramid. Plus a little bit extra to actually power the beacon. This was a nightmare of a quest, honestly. I did it, 90% of it was manual. I did create a little what's the word? Semi-automatic AFKable carrot farm over at the skeleton spawner, but most of it was manual farming of. Go away, pretty tap. Manual farming of pumpkins, melons, carrots, sugarcane. It was a process. As you can see, also, if you remember, I figured out the problem I was having. Oh, I thought he was a fisherman. Never mind. Sorry. I figured out the problem I was having with the breeder. It turns out that they actually need to be in a 3-block tall area. So 3 blocks tall at least. I went scouring on a couple of forum websites to discover that. And yeah, so that was my process, manual. And what I've discovered actually, what I did partway through it all while I was AFKing, I got a little hidey hole over there I've made, just to pause the game, or not pause it, just going into my inventory like this, Alt Tab out of the game, watch a video or a movie for a bit, and it still runs in the background because you're in this, and because normally when you Alt Tab, it pauses the game, like goes into this screen, but if you're either in your inventory GUI or your in another GUI or a chest or something, as far as I know, it will actually stay in the game. But anyway, I digress. So let me jump over to an Excel sheet I designed, or made. Went through a lot of stuff, and I'll jump over to that and I'll explain what I discovered as I was doing this. It was actually quite interesting. Alright, back in a moment. Alrighty, here is my Excel spreadsheet as promised. So what we've got set up here is the items and the villager section. So you've got armor, toolsmith, weaponsmith, and the items you can trade to them. Now, this isn't every item you can trade with the villagers, obviously. I just went with what I thought was the easiest to farm. Now the shepherd, I only went with the first tier. Most of these are novice, except the mason I think was an apprentice level stone one. Can't double check, but normally I've tagged them. So it was, yeah, I think I stuffed up the stone. I think it's clay and something else and then stone. And I forgot to quit out of Minecraft. So the music was still there. Sorry about that. But anyway, so as I was saying, so yeah, the legend key, or the key is up here. Apprentice, journeyman, expert, master for the particular trades. So this is items needed to trade per emerald. Now I want you to remember this is numbers as the default base prices. This isn't including discounts, the zombie villager version, the converting of zombie villagers, discounts. It's just the base default price. So I want that's very clear on this. And what this column here is the amount of emeralds you'll get per stack of item. So again, if we're going with coal, 15 coal per emerald. So you get 4.2667 per emeralds per stack of coal. So I'm clear there, because I haven't seen it laid out in this fashion as such, because when we go into sheet 2, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I wanted to map this all out, and I really shouldn't have, because it's some ridiculous numbers going on here. So let's jump over to sheet 2 and I'll show you what I mean by these ridiculous numbers. So we've got 2 extra columns here, stacks of items needed for 1 full beacon. It is 1,476 emeralds. Stacks of items needed for the 6 beacon pyramid. That's when you have the 6 beacons on top in a 2x3 formation with the pyramid underneath. You need 2,196 emeralds. And I'm sure you've already had a glance down here and you'll see what I'm talking about. So to get 1 beacon, so enough emeralds, 1,476 emeralds, to power a full beacon, you need 345.9375 stacks of coal. That is stacks of coal. So 64 coal, 346 times, roughly. I'll round up roughly, but yeah. So that's what you need. 346 stacks. Or if you're going to go for the full thing, 514 stacks. Yeah. Good luck with that. But like I said, the main thing I went with was the easy farm items. So coal, probably not farmable unless you've got a wither farm or you've just got tons of coal lying around. Iron ingots, iron farms, chicken farms, pig farms, rabbit farms, which I don't really see many of, but they are doable. I think that's the butcher. That's a rabbit. That's raw rabbit flesh, and then down here actually, I just sort of rabbit hide. So that's rabbit meat, and that is rabbit hide. Just so we're clear there, and there's no confusion. So yeah, just went with the. Usually the novice, I tried to make sure I labeled it properly. Easily farmable ones to go with. Gold and iron, not so easy to farm, but with a gold farm you can do. Rotten flesh is by far the worst trade you can do, because it's 32, so you only get 2 emeralds per stack, so you need, 738 for one beacon pyramid, 1,098 stacks for the 6 beacon pyramid. Now this is all just to make the entire pyramid out of emeralds. You can chop and change the blocks, but I just wanted to know what the numbers were for a full beacon of emerald blocks, because it's easy to either do it with, I've seen it for iron farms and gold and stuff, but I've never seen one for emerald, so I went, stuff it, let's make some thingo. So yeah, these are all just the trades and stuff, like I said. So this is the items and the villager. This is the items needed per emerald, and this is the emeralds you get per stack. This is the amount of item stacks you need for one full beacon pyramid. This is the amount you need for the 6 beacon pyramid. So a lot of numbers there. I'm just going to scroll down here just so you can pause and have a looky if you want to find out what you want to look, if you want to do it. Now, as you've probably seen, Librarian Trick. What is this? Well, that's in sheet number 3, so let's have a little looky, shall we? The Librarian Trick. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but this is what I think I've got it right. This is it laid out in step points. So step 1, get your librarian that trades bookshelves and books, the novice and apprentice trades respectively. And it's going to be the base rate, the default price will be 6 emeralds for 3 bookshelves, 4 books for 1 emerald. So it'll cost you 6 emeralds to get 3 bookshelves, and you'll be able to sell 4 books for 1 emerald. If you're smart or you already know the trick, you know where I'm going with this. Step 1, an alternate way of starting this is to capture and cure a zombie villager, then give cured villager the librarian profession with the lectern, obviously. Step 2, if you haven't used step 1 alternate. So step 2, convert librarian to a zombie villager and then cure zombie villager with the splash potion of weakness and a golden apple. Now, to convert it, you have to remember that on easy difficulty, when a zombie kills a villager, on easy difficulty there is a 0% chance of it happening, of the villager converting. On normal, there is a 50% chance of the villager being converted. On hard and hardcore mode, the villager will convert 100% of the time when killed by a zombie. Note, this is important here. I have heard, and I will cautiously confirm this, because it happened to me while I was doing some testing for a buddy of mine, just in the testing world, and I swapped my game to peaceful, and this actually happened. When you cure a zombie villager, they can despawn after they've been cured. Now, I didn't name, it says name tags here, I'll get to that in a second, but I didn't name tag the villager. So what I did was, had my villager, spawn some zombies, had the zombie villager there, converted it back to, or cured it, sorry, then changed a few minutes later the game mode to peaceful, or the difficulty to peaceful, and the villager despawned. Yeah, I know, scary stuff. However, if you name tag it after curing it, apparently it fixes this, because apparently I've heard that if you name tag it before you convert it to a zombie villager, and then cure it, even though, so you got your cured your cured librarian or cured whatever, even with a name tag, they can still despawn apparently. I've heard that it's something to do with during the conversion and all that, it gets the mob tag attached to it that takes priority over the name tag. I'm not sure, I don't code things, I don't work for Mojang, and I'm not one of those guys who can go into the coding, but that would be my understanding of how it happens, is that the conversion overrides a name tag and makes the mob tag, like the mob coding of the, converts the villager to a mob that can despawn, and that takes priority over the name tag, which should prevent that. Like I said, unconfirmed on that side of things, but I can cautiously confirm that a cured zombie villager will despawn when you swap it to peaceful, at least. That was done in a creative world. Whether it's different, I'm not sure, but look into it before you try it, because it can screw around on you. Now, step 3. My test I did, which I was just talking about, only needed to do it once. I needed to do this once. To converting and curing and stuff, I only need to do it once. Other villagers types, you will have to do it twice to ensure the lowest possible trade values. And what we get down to is now it costs 1 emerald for 3 bookshelves, and you can sell 1 book for 1 emerald. Again, we all know where this is going. Step 4, you buy bookshelves, then break them without silk touch to collect 3 books. So for 1 emerald, you get 3 bookshelves, which means breaking them with 3 books each, that means 9 books back. You then sell the books back to the converted librarian, and you will make profit. Because remember, you're buying 9 books essentially here for 1 emerald, and then selling 9 books back for 1 emerald each. That's like I think it's 800% profit, I think, working it out. But rinse and repeat, and you make a compounding amount of emeralds depending on trade amounts that the librarian, how many times the librarian will trade with you and stuff like that. I don't know if it works for any other villager professions. All I know is it works for the librarian. So keep it in mind, but also keep in mind this important note. Look into it first. Big thing, look into it. But yeah, that's how you can make compounding amounts of emeralds and stuff like that. Alrighty, I think that's just about it from me on this topic. Yeah, no, that's it from me. I'll see you back when I'm in Minecraft, and we will get this show on the road. And I'm back in my world, on top of the still unfinished roof of my marketplace. Upon watching those last 2 clips, I decided I'm going to end this video here, because that is a lot of information and it's a lot of me prattling on. So, nice short episode today. My next episode, I'm going to be taking this beacon, these emeralds blocks, these emeralds, and oh no, here. Oh yes, he does. I think he does. I might have to do a little bit more trading, because during my trading I unlocked. Aha! I think we're going to go do something with either the Ocean Monuments or the Woodland Mansion. I might do both. I might do a bit of a half and half maybe, or well, definitely Ocean and definitely Woodland. They're my next 2 things. We're going to go and attack them. But for now, that's going to be it for this episode. Sorry for it being so short, but yeah, as I said, a lot of information, and I thought that was enough of me prattling on. Alrighty, so that's it from me. Have a good one, and we will see you next time, I suppose, if you tune in.